Welcome back, everybody. My name is Erik Berglund. I am the founder of the Language of Leadership and Luminary. And this episode of How to Get Them to Do the Thing is brought to you in partnership with RTIlearning.com and CNRmagazine.com. This month, we're focused on how do you get them to use the shiny new tool you just bought them. Maybe you bought them some new software, some new project management tool. Maybe it's some new leadership development course or some new AI role play for business development. Whatever it is, I know you've made a lot of investments in your people over the years, only to be very frustrated that they didn't actually put them to use, or that they didn't actually put them to use very well and then told you that it wasn't the right thing. This month, we're focused on how do you get them to use the new tool you just invested in. And there's 3 simple steps we're going to talk through for this part here. Step 1 is you need to get their buy-in. Now look, ideally in a perfect world, you've gathered all your project managers and you've made a consensus decision on which tool you need to use to solve a set of problems that you think a project management tool is going to solve for you. But that often isn't how things go. And I've got a lot of respect for the reality of your world where you can't really do that all that efficiently. So maybe you haven't already gotten buy-in and you didn't all stack hands and decide that this is the right perfect tool for you. That's okay. You can still get buy-in from people, and it's a critical first step. So how do you get buy-in from somebody? Well, typically we think about getting buy-in from people. We're going to go to them and say, hey, look, I just bought all this stuff. Look how great it's going to be. Isn't this going to help you? But that's not how you actually get buy-in. See, buy-in is a real connection from that person to what they're going to get from the new tool or software or system or process you invested in. And the only way to get that is to get them to tell you. So instead of saying, here's all the good stuff this thing is going to give you, instead you need to ask them, hey, if you got really good at using this type of tool, what do you think would happen? What do you think your team would get out of that? And it needs to be an honest question, not a leading one, by the way. They're your employees. They're going to tell you things to make you happy, hopefully. And hopefully some of them will tell you honestly if they don't think it's the right one. But if you can get them to tell you that it would solve the real problems they've been facing, then the act of them sharing it with you is going to be far greater than you telling them how great the new software you just bought is. And so a question like, hey, we just invested in this program and I know it's new. So we know there's going to be some onboarding and some learning, but just help me out a little bit here. If you got really good at using this, and it was really easy and it delivered on all the promises, like, what do you think it would do for you? How would it help you and your team? And if you get people to tell you, oh, it would save us time. Oh, it would improve our margins. Oh, it would mean we wouldn't have to get paperwork re-signed at the end. Oh, it would mean we actually got all the signatures right the first time. It would prevent rework. Whatever it would do, get them to tell you. Because when people tell you what they want and what they like about this idea, they're starting to sell themselves on it. They're starting to create their own buy-in, and now you've got them. And once you've got them, once they are aligned with the value this thing might bring to the table because they've been telling you how great it might be, now you got to help them actually implement it. And the way you do that is not by saying, okay, here's what I need you to do, but again by asking, hey, now that you see all the good things this program could do for you, or this process could do for you, how do you think you'll actually put it to use? How do you think you'll actually implement it? What do you think you'll need to do? Because most of the time, they don't know yet. How could they know? They're just being introduced to it. I don't expect them to know the answer to this right then and there. I want them to come up with it with me. I want them to tell me, well, my Monday mornings, I'll start out logging in and inputting everything that we need to do. Or I'll wrap up each day opening the tool and I'll put in and push all the buttons and take all the pictures and check all the boxes. I want them to tell me when they're going to put it to use and how they're going to use it. That should include some sort of location where it's going to happen. Where are they going to actually use this thing? Is it in their office? Is it in their truck? Is it in the van? Is it at the job site? Do they do it once they get back at the end of every day? Or do they do it at the beginning of their day? I don't know. So there's some element of when that needs to be included. Where and when will they put this thing to use? And how will they overcome the foreseeable resistance? If you have some new tool that a bunch of people need to participate in for it to work, what will that person do when everybody else hasn't completed their stuff yet? Will they go chase them down? Or will they just leave their own task uncompleted because somebody forgot to put their own hours in? Let's ask those questions. Yes, there's some deeper thinking about implementation here, but if you get them to tell you how they will overcome the foreseeable problems that this new tool is going to bring to the table, they're more likely to overcome those problems. And if you get them to tell you where they'll do it, when they'll do it, how they'll do it, and how they'll overcome whatever foreseeable challenges might exist, they're going to be more likely to go put it to use. And you can help them construct that plan through just a little bit of conversation. If you're deploying this tool or this system or process to multiple people, you could do this collaboratively. You could pull everybody together in a conference room or on a phone call to talk through how they're going to solve these problems. But the game again is getting them to tell you. Your job is just to ask questions. You might help them problem solve. You might help them think through resistance or challenges or hurdles, but they need to tell you, because that's the only effective way you would know if they're actually going to go and use this thing. And the third step in the process, the first was to get their buy-in. The second was to get them to tell you how they're going to do it. The third is to get them to tell you how you can hold them accountable to it. See, they can tell you all things until they're blue in the face, but reality is when they're out there on job sites, negotiating with other vendors, negotiating with insurance, meeting with homeowners, when they're out there solving problems with water up to their ankles, some of this stuff might fall apart, and that's okay. That's reality. Reality is your job, or someone in your company's job, is going to be to hold them accountable to using this new shiny tool. And if you can predetermine how that conversation should happen, it'll be a lot easier. So if you ask a question like, hey, if your team isn't seeing the benefits you're hoping from this, or if I'm not seeing your team using this very well, or if I'm not seeing you using it, how can I hold you accountable to that? How do you want me to follow up with you? When is the right time for that to happen? I know it's new for all of us, so I don't expect perfection, but if I see you stalling or struggling in some way, can I approach you about that so I can help you get to those benefits you told me you wanted earlier? So you can break down that barrier to accountability by asking for permission and getting them to tell you how they would like it to happen. Now, they might say something childish like, nah, you don't have to do that. I'll do that. Don't worry about it. Or they might look at you like, I'm accountable, Bob. Why would you even ask me that question? Sure, they might look at you like that, but it's a fair question to ask. And you can nudge them in the ribs and say, look, man, this is new. I don't expect you to be perfect here. And I know you're highly accountable, but frankly, in our business, shit happens, right? So when that happens, how would you like me to bring it up to you? Because I don't want it to feel like I'm micromanaging you, but I do need to make sure this is something that's being helpful for us. So how should that conversation happen? If you do those three things, get them to tell you why they're bought in on this idea. Get them to tell you how and where and when they'll implement it and how they'll overcome foreseeable resistance. And get them to tell you how you can hold them accountable to it. You do those three things, they're going to be far more likely to use your shiny tool because they want it, because they want those benefits. They're going to be far more likely to use that shiny tool because they know where and when and how it fits into their schedule and their other responsibilities. And if you get them to tell you how you can hold them accountable to it, then you can do your job and make sure that that investment's actually manifesting in all the changes you're hoping that it brings to your business. Go do those three things. That's how you'll get them to use that shiny new tool you invested in. I hope this has been helpful. And again, in partnership with RTIlearning.com and CNR Magazine, I'm Erik Berglund from the Language of Leadership and Luminary. Thanks for spending this time with me. We'll see you next month.